Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are after market close on Friday, October 20th. We're going to take an updated look at T2. So T2 caught well under this downtrend resistance, which we've had on the chart. We now have a gap to the upside that starts at 1046 and fills at about 1650, and then an additional gap that starts at 23 and goes to 2662. Now, obviously, all of these levels after this reverse split that took place 1 week ago, and been under distress since then, but it is coming to an interesting level. And so I wanted to just point out a couple of things, put in an additional trend line, I think, and then flip over to the think or swim study and call it a video. So today, as you see, we settled at 545, and in the after hours, as of now at least, it's pushing to 541. So there is this level back here, 540, that as we see, did a quick double bottom, back-to-back days, caught support after wrestling with this 706 level, and then kicked off several big pushes. And volume picked up and things got really wild. So something to just sort of keep in mind, if it can bottom again at this 540 level, that could provide it some push power, if you will, if history repeats itself. Now, I don't know if it will, and if it doesn't, we're going to be kind of lost and at the mercy of a couple of things. One thing that we would be at the mercy of is, let me see where we want to put this downtrend resistance. I think this is probably pretty fair. Hey folks, just so you know, you can get these videos early and ad-free. If you click on the description below and become a member, you can make that happen, and I really appreciate the support. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of the video. It's a little bit more of an aggressive stance. We could do something which I think would be a little bit more conservative if we were to, oops, I don't want to have done that. I have two things here now. They are fighting for attention. Yeah, so this is going to be, I think, the better placement of this downtrend resistance. So we have that to keep an eye on. This is me saying if we get, below this 540 level and it starts to put in a bunch of price action there, eventually that'll start to give us some levels to go off of. But until then, you end up a little bit in no man's land. But we can at least let this downtrend resistance guide us. And then, a couple more candles go in here. If they sit underneath this, it might actually be putting in something a bit more like a channel, which would give us at least some additional guidance. So, we can look at that next time if folks are interested. And then the other thing to be looking at when you're sort of in no man's land is the EMAs. Now, at this point, because it's lost so much price so quickly, it's well below the 8 EMA. But that'll continue to get dragged down relatively quickly, since it's so far away. And we'll see if the price keeps kind of receding away from it, or if they're able to sort of come in contact sooner than later. Right now, it is sitting, interestingly, right at the entry point to that gap up. But I mean, at this point, the gap up is, almost like 2x the current price of the stock. Not quite, but darn close. So that would obviously be a huge gain to have to even try to enter that gap. So I don't know if or when that will take place, but just interesting that that's about where that 8 EMA is situated for the time being. So until it gets a little bit tighter in there, that's not going to provide much guidance. So I'm going to look to see if this 540 might act as some sort of, additional, like, longer term double bottom. So a very quick double bottom back here, like I said. And now, could this be that coming back into that range, and for whatever reason, buyers just really want to step in there and put some bullish pressure in play? Don't know, but something to keep an eye on. If not, then we have this downtrend resistance to just sort of see if or when it can break that downtrend resistance and get some distance from it. And we can talk about that when it's playing out, like I say, if folks are interested. Now, flipping over here to the think or swim study, as you would imagine, a couple of obvious things. One, bearish pressure continuing to build up, or bearish momentum, I guess I should say, continuing to build on the TTM squeeze histogram. And the price action is still spending now its 6th daily candle outside of the lower bound of the channel. At some point, we look for, when something leaves the channel, to navigate back into the channel and eventually press the mid-range of the channel, which right now is exceedingly high. Right now, the mid-range of that channel is 1734. Now that shifts every time a candle is put in. So as days continue to tick by, that will continue to come down toward the price action. But it has a lot of work to do to even get into the channel itself. You see, basically, the lower bound of this channel looks exactly the same as that downtrend resistance that we have, right? And it's been treating it as resistance thus far. So not any luck currently even stretching into the channel and wicking off of it. It's wicking off of the lower bound of the channel, but it's not getting any penetration into the channel itself. And if it does, when it does, will it then just catch resistance off of this wave cloud? Again, still not being able to come close to the mid-range of the channel. These things are all sort of indications of how strong the bearish pressure still is at any given point in time. So those are things that I'm going to be looking for, while we are sort of sitting at this sort of critical juncture where if the price does start to rise through here, we have some support and resistance levels plotted. And if it doesn't and it falls below, then as I've been saying, we're kind of in no man's land, but we can keep an eye on the channel, the histogram, see if the TTM squeeze indicator starts to trigger at all. Right now it's still firing. And see if it's able to break this downtrend resistance at some point. But we'll see how it goes in the days ahead. All right, folks, I hope that you had a good trading week and that you enjoy your weekend. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.